Geography now, Türkiye. This is gonna be awesome. Oh my god, I'm so excited. So yeah, definitely go and check out the channel of Geography Now. They make the best videos. Let's not waste too much time talking. Let's check out the actual footage.
Hey Geography peeps, Barb's here. Get your Geography Now merch at geographynow.com.
So for this episode, that chest was insane.
Hey Geography peeps, Barb's here. Get your Geography Now merch
that.
at geographynow.com.
Okay.
So for this episode, you're going to notice that there's going to be some continuity errors. For example, I'm clean shaven here. In the episode, I'm not. That's because for this episode, I had to film out of sequence over the course of 2 weeks in 5 different countries. However, long story short, these days, I'm trying to kind of travel to the last countries of our alphabet. And you know, I found a really good cheap flight ticket to Turkey. So long story short, it kind of ended up going like this. Hey mom.
What?
Want to go to Turkey?
What?
Oh my god. So beautiful. Ah. I need to go to Turkey too. Kadıköy.
Yeah, I went to Turkey for this episode.
It's time to learn geography now!
Alright, just like we did with the Toko episode, here's another video shot on location. Here we are in Turkey. I'm going to feature a lot of you guys, the Turkish geography peeps, in this video.
Oh, that's so
better
cool.
to feature than my go-to Turk, Mr.
Bro, I really hope they will decide to redo some of the episodes because after the letter, I would say D, or maybe even after the letter C, you know, it started to really improving the quality so much more. I would say after the letter M, you know, it started to make super amazing episodes. But some countries, you know, like with the letter A and B were... I mean, of course, it was just starting out. I'm not trying to be an asshole or whatever. When I started up, my videos were pure shit. Not that now they are so much better, but still. So I really hope you will decide to redo some episodes. I mean, that will really gain a lot more to, you know, some countries deserve more, I would say. Every country deserves more. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. Let's continue.
Ege, aka Eggy Boy.
Hell yeah, man.
So I actually met Ege a few years ago when I did the heritage trip. We had an 18-hour layover in Istanbul.
I was 14.
Yeah, you were like 14. I don't usually meet up with kids unless they have, you know, an adult supervisor. You had your aunt. I don't want to be the creepy guy that meets up with kids. You're like a chubby little kid, and now you're like a emo punk rock star. Look at you, man. You grew up. Thank you. I promised him 5 years ago he could be in the Turkey episode.
And you kept your promise.
Kept my promise.
You're the best, man.
5 years later.
That was bad.
That was the worst high five ever. Well, Ege drove me around parts of Turkey and helped with this video, so he's going to co-host. Also, you are officially the youngest
drove
person
to just
ever
say.
to co-host a Geography Now episode.
Hey, man.
So,
I'm just 19.
yeah, there you go. Well, Eggy boy, you ready to pop this turkey into the oven?
Oh, yeah, you're getting a full meal with this episode.
Full meal. So the domain that Turkey sits on today is riddled with thousands of years of transition, and the map has changed a lot.
Our land has always been the junction point between so many cultures, eras, and empires throughout history.
It would take way too long to explain, but basically...
It goes all the way back to somewhere around 10,000 BC, and one of the oldest known towns on Earth, Çatalhöyük, dating about 6200 BC, was established there.
And from there it was like the Bronze Age, the Hittites, the Phrygians, Persians, Greeks, Romans, Byzantines, Seljuks, Ottomans, and then finally, the Republic that stands today. Lots of stuff.
First, let's jump into the map and see what Turkey administers today.
Turkey is a transcontinental country located right at what is considered the boundaries between Europe and Asia. The vast majority of the country lies on the Anatolian Peninsula, straddled between the Black Sea to the north, the Mediterranean to the south, and the Aegean to the west. This is considered the Asia part of Turkey. In antiquity, it was even called Asia Minor. As for the Europe part, we go to the Thrace Peninsula, which connects to the Balkans, separated by the Bosphorus Strait, the Sea of Marmara, and the Dardanelles off the Gallipoli Peninsula from the Asia part of the country. The Thrace Peninsula only makes up 3% of the country's landmass, yet it holds about 10% of the country's population.
Wow.
The country's capital and second largest city is Ankara, also known as Angora in antiquity, and is located more inland in the Anatolian Peninsula. The largest, busiest, world-renowned financial hub and only transcontinental city in the world, though, would be the city of Istanbul. Classified as a megacity, it straddles both the European and Asian sides of the country across the Bosphorus. In antiquity, it was also known as Lygos, Byzantium, and Constantinople until it changed its name in 1928. Istanbul, of course, also
Wait, so during the Ottoman Empire it was still called Constantinople?
It's the busiest shipping port, the port of Haydarpasa, as well as the biggest and busiest airport, the newly finished Istanbul International, located on the north side of the city. If you flew to Istanbul prior to 2019, you probably arrived in Atatürk International on the south side before they transferred all passenger
Atatürk,
operations
that's
to
such
the
a
new
cool
airport
name.
and made Atatürk a cargo hub. Otherwise, the country is divided into 81 provinces, or vilayet.
81 provinces! Oh my god! Do Turkish people usually know all of them? Oh my god. That's so cool. That's a lot of material for a geographical nerd to learn about.
Off the western coast in
For
the Aegean,
geography
you notice
nerd.
there's a lot of islands. However, interestingly enough, all but 2 of them actually belong to Greece. These 2 right here. This was due to the Treaty of Athens in 1913, which clarified sovereignty over the Aegean. This has been a source of contention for maritime boundaries and access for Turkish ships trying to leave the west coast, and today it's still a little complicated. Nonetheless, Turks come and visit these islands all the time. It's not like there's a crazy conflict going on. Speaking of which, there's another dispute that they have with Syria over the Hatay province. This was the last province to join the Republic in 1939. Syria never formally recognized the referendum that the French officiated that gave it to Turkey, and today's Syrian maps still show the Hatay province as theirs.
Also, fun side note,
Oh.
we all know Turkey has a town named
Yeah, let me know if I... Batman. Let me know if I should check out also the Syria episode. I don't know too much about Syria, to be honest. But yeah, that's one of those countries that I would like to know more about.
Man, in which the mayor literally tried to sue the director of Batman Begins.
But Turkey also has some funny literal translated names.
Yeah.
These here, why don't you just go through some of them?
Balıkesir, fish prisoner. Adıyaman, its name is bad.
That literally means its name is bad.
Yeah, Tokat, slap. It just means slap.
And the last
And
one,
Afyonkarahisar, opium black fortress.
Opium Black
Yeah,
Fortress.
it's where opium grows.
In any case, going back to history though,
Hey,
Istanbul
makes
was
sense.
essentially the capital of the Byzantine Empire. Barbarians invaded from the Danube, Arabs came from the southeast, even some Slavs came in from the Black Sea coast. It was chaos everywhere.
It wasn't until the 11th century you started to see the first Turkic peoples fully settling in what is now Turkey, starting with the Seljuk Empire, which was actually Perso-Turkic, but you get the point. So many things went back and forth until the 14th century when Osman I initiated the Ottoman Empire in the Bursa province area.
You've probably heard of the Ottoman Empire. It lasted for about 600 years until the Balkan Wars leading up to World War I, when all hell broke loose. The Treaty of Sèvres, which was signed and essentially attempted to carve out what was left amongst the allies from the Turkey-Anatolia Peninsula.
The thing is though, it's incredibly hard to carve out the heart and nucleus of an empire, aka the Anatolian Peninsula.
Not easy. In comes Atatürk.
This guy is basically the father of modern Turkey who fought against partition forces and wanted to salvage the Anatolian Peninsula as a new Turkish republic that would modernize, industrialize, and secularize, even though many people would still maintain Islamic core values.
This would essentially make them the first Muslim majority country to have secularism embedded in its constitution and a clause that stated that it could not be removed.
And there have been 5 coups throughout history on the grounds that these principles were in danger.
Anyway, back to the early 20th century. The
So
transition
emo.
from the Ottoman times to the Republic times was followed by lots of fighting, paranoia, proxy intervention, displacement practices, and bloodshed. We'll talk more about this later in the episode, but here's the deal. Whenever we make this bell sound, it means here are the Cliff Notes version of a hot button topic that we will not go too far into, and you are welcome to discuss it in the comments. Obviously, we assume you will be writing civil words in lowercase letters.
Of course. Until then, moving on.
Okay, what else do we have, Ege?
Well, Turkey joined NATO in 1952, yet also invaded northern Cyprus in 1974 in retaliation to Greece's coup.
Also, the southeastern part of the country where the majority Kurdish population lives is where the PKK... Jeez, it hasn't even been 10 seconds and already, like... Let's just move on.
Yeah. In addition, Turkey has been one of the longest in limbo candidates for joining the EU.
Anyway, it kind of went like
Wow,
this.
since
Okay,
the
Turkey, you've been a member of the
80s.
Council of Europe.
Wow.
You're an associate of the ECC. And you have a customs union with us. Good, good, good. But there are 35 chapters of criteria of EU ascension. And how many have you completed?
16. Hey, I took in a lot of refugees. Doesn't that make me look a little bit better? I mean, I'm holding one right now.
Yeah, but there's other things.
What do you want right now?
Yeah. We're suspending all negotiations until you figure it out.
Yeah, screw it. Here's another.
We seriously need to move on from all this political talk and discuss something else because the comment section is
It's a
gonna be on
lot.
fire.
Hey,
Yeah,
I know,
I can
with all the
imagine.
history and unique regions, Turkey hosts a lot of notable sites of interest. To talk more on that, here's one of our Turkish geography peeps to explain.
Merhaba, hi guys, my name is Cansu and I would love to tell you about some of the wonderful places we have in Turkey. First off, we are obviously a
my
land of
God.
history and there are hundreds of ancient sites that date
Amazing.
back thousands of years. Remember the famous Battle of Troy? Yep, the
Yes.
ancient Troy is in Turkey and people from the movie actually left the Trojan horse in Çanakkale. In addition, we have the Mount Nemrut head statues, Cappadocia's cave houses, Mardin sandstone building, Myra's rock tombs, and also the tomb of Santa Claus aka Saint Nicholas. Yes, he was born in Turkey. We have old castles everywhere in Turkey, in Ankara, Alanya, Bodrum.
Wow. Bro, we should check out a video of the best castles, the most beautiful castles of Turkey. I love castles.
Giresun, Kastamonu,
So
and the only
amazing.
thing that outnumbers our castles is our hammams. It's a huge part of our culture and it's kind of a Turkish traditional bachelor/bachelorette party. And finally, I'm sure everyone knows about Hagia
Of course.
Sophia, our most famous site in Istanbul, and it is very close to Blue Mosque, which is another stunning piece of architecture. And last but not least, let's not forget the
If I'm not mistaken, in the Dan Brown book, was it Inferno? I think it was Inferno. There's a really good description of what it looks like inside for people that hasn't been there, like me. So yeah, but I want to react to it.
61 streets and,
And see it
4,000
actually.
shops. Teşekkürler. Umarım Türkiye'ye gitme fırsatınız olduğunda buraları görebilirsiniz. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
that
love
was a lot of
Turkish.
info and we barely even started the episode.
Yeah. Well, let's tone things down a bit and go into the least crazy part of this episode.
Let's show the natural side of Turkey, the land.
The land. So, Turkey's land will always find a way to shock you.
1 minute you're in a hazelnut forest and the next you're in a rock forest.
It's a lot. So much extreme terrain. Let's explain in the motion graphic.
First of all, Turkey lies right at the convergence of the African, Eurasian, and Arabian plates, converging at the north and east Anatolian fault lines. This essentially creates their own mini plate known as the Anatolian plate, which is technically being pushed counterclockwise as the Arabian plate pushes up and the African plate subducts under the Cyprus arc. This means Turkey is subject to occasional earthquakes and has geothermal activity, although the majority of their volcanoes are dormant or extinct in activity. All these fault lines are what contribute to 80% or so of the country being mountainous, with three main ranges. The
80%.
Pontic Mountains in
Wow.
the north, the Taurus Mountains in the south. In between both of these, you find the Anatolian Plateau. And finally, to the far east, you find the Aras Mountains. This is the highest region of Turkey with the highest peak, Mount Ogridogi, or more commonly known as
The one of the Bible, right?
Ararat, which is actually a dormant compound volcano. From these mountains, the mighty rivers of Turkey flow, the longest
the
one completely
Noah's
in
Ark.
Turkey being the Kızılırmak, or Red River, which empties into the Black Sea. It's also important to note that the source of the famous Euphrates and Tigris rivers are in Turkey as well. They flow down from the mountains and feed millions to the Middle East below. Also in this eastern area, you can find the largest lake of the country, Lake Van, in the eastern Armenian highlands as well. Basically,
so
each of the regions has
beautiful.
their own unique distinct terrain and microclimate. The North Black Sea coast is the most lush with forests and receives the most rainfall. The Thracian Peninsula and Marmara regions are the flattest part of the country. The Aegean and southern coasts have a Mediterranean climate. The central Anatolian plateau is like the grain harvest belt of Turkey. The southeastern parts closer to Syria and Iraq are more dry and arid. And of course, in the far east, you find the tallest mountains and the coldest weather. Specifically, the town of Erzurum, which takes the title of the coldest place in Turkey.
Also, a side note, remember Armenians are super
Erzurum.
sensitive with Ararat or Mount Ararat. It's like sacred to them and it's on like their coat of arms and they name out all of their commercial products after it.
Don't you live by a bunch of Armenians in Los Angeles?
Yes, I do.
How do you feel about uploading this video after you get back?
Don't worry, it's LA Armenians. They're cool with me. Plus, they're like too busy with real estate and like rooftop raves. So anyway,
There are so many other unique natural sites Turkey has locked away in their domain. Dude, Cappadocia is like a different planet. So many weird eroded formations.
now this is usually the part where Noah comes in, but obviously he's not in Turkey, so we're just gonna take over his segment. Love you, Noah. Sorry, but we'll do your segment.
So economically, Turkey is definitely a regional powerhouse, classified as an emerging economy by the World Bank.
They were co-founders of the OECD and are part of the G20. They are an upper middle income nation per
Going
capita.
down.
But anyway, by GDP standards.
In fact, by market cap value, Enka,
What is like the average salary for the average oh my god, how to say it? I don't know. Sorry. The average salary of the average salary. Let me know in the comments. I think here in Italy is, yeah, one of the lowest in Europe, if I'm not mistaken. It's kind of fucked up. Hope in Turkey is better.
A construction firm, and Erdemir, a steel producer, usually rank in the top 5 largest companies in Turkey.
Not far behind is Turkish Airlines, which has more international destinations.
Oh my god, I need to react to more of Turkish Airlines, especially the ads are just amazing. So yeah, let me know which one are your favorites.
Than any other airline in the world at about 130. Yeah, this has made Istanbul the second busiest airport in the world in terms of international passenger traffic.
Every year they get closer and closer to dethroning Dubai.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. Yeah, no, I'm still the best ever that's ever existed. Shut up!
In any case,
Turkey is also a medical hotspot, specifically in the plastic and reconstructive surgery department.
when walking around Istanbul, don't be shocked if you find a lot of men with bandages around their heads. Turkey
Is that the hair plant? Oh my god, yeah, the transplant of hair. It's very popular, Turkey, for that.
transplant capital of the world.
Yes.
And here's Art to explain a little bit more because he knows something.
Hey guys, so as you know,
Actually, when you think about Turkey, that would be the first thing you will ever think about, probably, right? Transplant for hair for men.
me and my family spend a lot of time in Turkey. So we had an idea and we did a thing. We created a 5-star VIP medical tourism service called Beauty Mill, where we provide hair transplants and over 70 other cosmetic procedures with our doctors in Turkey. Yeah, it's a really cool experience. I was actually one of those guys. I actually had hair transplants. A lot of guys are weird to talk about it, but I actually did get it done.
Really?
I was very happy with it. Check it out. Link in description.
Aw, Art being so transparent. We love it.
Shut up.
Yeah, we only promote businesses on these country episodes if the business is affiliated with the country or if it is from a small business from a subscriber so that you can support them. Anyway, thank you, Art.
Turkey is also a world-renowned mineral and agriculture powerhouse.
Today, they are the leaders in producing things like boron, pumice, feldspar, I don't even know what feldspar is, apricots, cherries, figs, and the national pride crop hazelnuts.
Yeah, they say we're gonna eat boron sandwiches. Nice product placement.
Some of this agricultural production, though, has led to the overusage of underwater aquifer sources, which have led to massive sinkholes speckled throughout the interior of the country.
The Konya province alone has over 300 of them, ranging in just a few meters wide to nearly 200. Yeah, they're really cool
That's
on the way to
crazy.
Alanya. And another thing you can find in the environment are animals. And Gary Harlow obviously is not with us in Turkey, so...
So, Caleb has a baby and he has baby's duties to do today. So, Gabs, you're filling in.
Let's just get it over with. No, turkeys do not come from Turkey. The American turkey got its name from Turkey because the European settlers thought it looked like a guinea fowl from Turkey. So they called it a turkey fowl, later shortened it to just turkey. And that's how we got turkey. Don't ask any more questions, all right? Turkey used to be one of the only few places that had both tigers and lions at the same time until they became locally extinct or permanently migrated out. Now, Turkey is the land of the cats. And it's estimated that Istanbul alone has over 200,000
That's amazing. I love cats.
stray cats. They are treated nicely by the locals who feed and tend to them. This is why you will never see
Oh my god, that's like paradise to me. Oh my god, I'm always so happy when I take my walk and I meet some cats outside. That must be amazing.
rats, cockroaches in any of the major cities in Turkey because the kitty cats. And if you're caught harming any of these stray cats, the community, oh brother, a whipping down. They love stray cats
they
so much
should.
that they actually immortalized the beloved Tombili, the chill cat meme. She passed away in 2000.
Bro, that was such a cool cat. Look at that.
Nonetheless, despite having a love of cats, the national animal is actually the gray wolf. There's a saying to describe the Turkish soul. Yes, a lion or a tiger may be stronger, but you'll never see a wolf in a circus. Think about it. Just think about it. So that's all the time we have for
Cannot be
me and this
domesticated.
hat. I guess I gotta give it back. I guess I'll just kind of give it back. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, fake Gary Harlow. And with that in mind, let's discuss the animals on people's plates. Turks are heavy meat eaters.
Sorry, vegans.
Which of course means we will now discuss the food of Turkey.
We're talking about the home of Cezene Burak guy. That guy is insane.
Oh yeah, I love that guy. He's always smiling, sometimes creepily when he cooks, but yeah, he's the best.
Seeing the size of the platters.
And the guy, the one skibbity dop dop, yeah, the one bouncing his belly. Oh my god.
That guy makes.
Well, we don't have him with us right now, but we do have you guys, the Turkish geography peeps, to explain a little bit more on the food and cuisine of Turkey.
Hey everyone, I'm Rabia,
Hey everyone, it's Furkan.
and I'm going to tell you a bit about the food of Turkey. So, Turkish cuisine is based on a fusion of all the surrounding cultures they were in contact with throughout history.
You'll find hints of flavors and ingredients from Mediterranean, Central Asia.
Caucasus and the Middle East.
Fun fact, Swedish meatballs is actually originated from here. King Charles XII was a on exile and brought back the recipe for köfte from Ottoman Empire.
Also, keep in mind we love
I
putting
had
yogurt
no
on
idea.
everything, especially if it's seasoned with things like garlic and mint.
Actually, it's not yogurt, it's yoğurt.
İskender, bamya
Yoğurt.
dolması, lahmacun,
Gelincik böreği, çaputaşı pilavı, mantı, çiğ köfte.
sarma, kuru fasulye, kısır, kokoreç, menemen, işkembe çorbası.
I'm getting
And of
hungry.
course, the most famous dishes you've probably heard of
Yes,
already,
yes.
döner and kebab.
Keep in mind,
So wait, so the doner... Oh wait, maybe she's explaining.
you might have seen restaurants called döner kebab. There's no such thing. There are two separate items. Döner, which is cooked on a
Okay. I was about to ask about that, but yeah, apparently you already replied. Because here in Italy, all the restaurants that are called doner, they're also called kebab. They're always doner kebab. So yeah, come on.
turning spit, and kebab, which is cooked on a skewer.
This is the best part. We have a lot of desserts too.
Turkish
So
delight.
basically, I've never eaten in my whole life kebab. Okay, good to know. Turkish delight lokum. Yes, I saw a video before, a vlog.
Lokum, which is
Eating
quite
that.
famous, I guess. Kadayıf, künefe,
Maraş ice cream, the Fez guy who's turned these things. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
sütlaç, düğlü haşhaş tatlısı.
Bombas. It literally means a
Bombas.
bomb.
In market, you might find Ottoman macun candy.
Also, we have many drinks as well.
For one
Wait, how did they not mention baklava? Or baklava, I don't know what's the right pronunciation. Wait, what? Shouldn't it be the first one to be mentioned? Oh my god, that's super popular everywhere.
we are the highest consumers of tea out of any country in the world. And just like other nations in the Balkans, we love drinking our ayran.
We love drinking.
Ayran.
We also have things like sherbet, salep, boza, şalgam, and rakı.
Oh, that
And
looks
of
so
course,
good.
if you have the chance, try some Turkish coffee.
Thank you. Yeah, Turkish coffee is not about the
do
type
want-
of bean they use, but rather the way it's prepared. They will boil water in a jezva with incredibly fine ground coffee, almost to the point where it's like powder, and then they serve it with the grinds. No filtering.
Sometimes we even do this thing where we heat up the pot in a heated sandpit so the coffee is actually baked, not boiled.
Also, I learned this the first time I met Ege.
sounds
After you
so
finish
cool.
drinking your coffee, you can tell your fortune. They like lift it upside down and then they look at the coffee grinds and you like come up with a fortune.
There's even an app for that, I think.
Like they check the coffee grinds.
Oh,
Yeah, I think so. You can like scan it.
Yeah, that's the other thing I noticed. Turkish people
That's
have a lot of
incredible.
superstitions and
bro, oh my god. When they say stuff like that, it makes me regret so much the point where our technology has reached. Because, you know, you take away all the magic if you have an app to scan the thing and then know what that means, right? Come on. You need someone to tell you. Even they might be lying, whatever, but you need someone to tell you. You know, that's the whole magic, the whole point of it. If there's an app telling you that, yeah, all the magic is gone.
rituals that they kind of live by.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story. We'll talk more about that in the next segment.
So, what is a Turk? This is not a simple question to answer, especially since Turkey has gone through so much change in the past several millennia.
First, we need to make the quick distinction between
Turk
the
and
terms
Turkic.
Turk and Turkic. Turk or Turkish are used interchangeably to refer to someone from Turkey. Turkic refers to the Turkic ethnic group, a family broken down into 6 main branches that extend all the way from Turkey to Siberia.
This means yes,
Wow, even Siberia. That's so interesting. I had no idea that even Siberia. Yeah, I knew about Kazakhs, Kyrgyz, Uzbeks, Uyghurs.
Turkish
But
people
Siberia,
are distant
wow.
cousins of people like Siberians, Kazakhs, Uyghurs, Uzbeks, Tatars, and so on.
Ethnographers speculate that they are even intertwined with Uralic
Oh,
and Ugric people
oh.
groups.
Wait, so
Wow.
even we're related to them?
By weird
I mean, I have a
technical
Finland
knowledge,
shirt,
people
so
kind of
it's
guess.
appropriate.
Even Viktor Orban says that they're related to the Turks.
So there's something going on. That being said, many Turks in Turkey today are probably a genetic admixture of who knows what from anywhere and everywhere that got in contact with the Anatolian Peninsula over the past 2 millennia.
You can find everything from blonde-haired, blue-eyed Turks to, yes, even a small community of Afro-Turks.
In any case, if you want an actual visual of how the country breaks down ethnically, here's the demographics graph.
First of all, the country has a population of about 85 million people and is host to the largest refugee population on Earth. Now here's where things get a little complicated because Turkey doesn't really have super reliable data on ethnic statistics of their country, and the term Turk is defined by the constitution as anyone that is bound to the Turkish state through citizenship, which means any citizen is considered Turk regardless of ethnic background. It is also known
So I could also be a Turk if I live in Turkish and get the citizenship.
That there are about 50 non-Turkish ethnic groups represented in the country. Nonetheless, independent sociologists have speculated that somewhere around 70 to 80% of the country would most likely identify as ethnic Turks to whatever degree that may be. From there, the largest minority group are Kurds, estimated to be anywhere from 12 up to 20-ish maybe percent of the country. From there, the remainder of the population are other ethnic groups, mostly Arabs, Armenians, Greeks, Assyrians, Circassians, Bosniaks, Roma, and so on.
We use the Turkish lira as our currency, we use the Type C and F plug outlets, and we drive on the right side of the road.
Speaking of driving, I learned that pretty much everybody outside of Istanbul hates the license plate number 34.
Yes, we do.
Every province has a number, and 34 is Istanbul.
And mine is 39.
You have it on your chest. Yes, 39.
And people usually keep crowbars in their cars in any case of a fight.
In case of a fight.
Really?
Language-wise, obviously Turkish is the official language. It is written in the Latin script. It was actually adopted in 1928, replacing a modified Arabic script prior to that.
Our ancestors actually used our own versions of the...
Bro, that was awesome! What the hell? Why was this replaced? This looks so cool.
Old Göktürk and Uyghur alphabet, which had these cool jagged blade-shaped letters that would later inspire the old Hungarian alphabet.
Man, I guess we do have some weird connection to you guys, huh?
Now going back to the people of Turkey, as we mentioned, Turkey is also pretty diverse.
As mentioned, the Kurds are the largest minority, mostly concentrated in the southeastern provinces bordering Iraq and Syria.
We already did a video explaining about the Kurds and who they are, but
yeah, actually, I want to learn more about that
basically,
too.
they are a stateless Iranic group of people related to the Persians and Pashtuns. They speak their own language, completely unrelated to Turkish, and they are spread across 4 countries in the Middle East, mostly in Turkey though. And since we're already on the topic, let's just get it over with and rip off the Armenia band-aid thing. Okay, I'm just gonna say this. During the transition years of becoming a republic, there were lots of fighting, and the Armenians, being assisted by Russians, was heavily involved. Since then, Armenia has requested the Turkish government acknowledge the incident as a genocide, whereas Turkey's government, to some extent, will acknowledge that tragedies have occurred. However, the narrative is more nuanced, and they would not use the word genocide. This is the basic foundation of the argument.
Yeah, in Turkish schools, the incident is taught as tehcir.
There's actually a very beautiful Italian movie that describes what happened in that year. Was really tough to watch. I watched it once in my life. It's one of those movies that once you watch it once, very hard to watch it another time. Doesn't matter how far apart you will watch.
Which is a displacement. And some Ottoman officials who abused their power and mistreated the displaced Armenians were hanged. But keep in mind, this is the official Turkish government story. So make up your own mind.
Make up your mind. This is what the Turkish government says.
Yes.
Talk about it in the comments. Ding, ding, ding. For what it's worth though, on a mundane personal level, Turks often can just befriend people like Armenians, Kurds, and Greeks. It's not like they're like, oh, when they meet each other, it's like they can interact with each other.
Yeah, I just made a Greek friend like 2 days ago.
We have that footage. Mike was really cool. Mike, we were real.
Yeah, I know. There's lots of controversies with Greeks and Turks, especially when it comes to food, right? I've talked with both Turkish people and Greek people, and yeah, every time I would tell them, what about this food? Everyone would be like, oh no, that's our food, not their food. It's always like that. So yeah, come on. I mean, all these disputes are by the government and all that. The people is a whole other thing.
Hitting it off.
You were vibing, man.
Yeah,
like
a lot of things are in common.
You use like the same words. You have the same everything. Like
we're basically from Thrace, both of us.
Thracian people. It's like one people. It's crazy.
And another thing, being close to conflict zones, Turkey has become the largest refugee host in the world, with about 4 million, including nearly 65% of the entire world's registered Syrian refugees.
Supposedly, the number is up for debate because a lot of people also just cross over and they don't register. So
it's 100% higher than that.
Well, with that, let's talk about another part of Turkey's identity, religion. Although secular by constitution, according to the government's old registration system, about 98% of the country claims to be Muslim to whatever degree of actual devotion, the majority at about 75% being Sunni, affiliated with the Hanafi school of jurisprudence.
Well, in the past, people were supposed to have a registration for their religion, and if they had just one Muslim parent, they would be automatically registered as Muslim. The data is probably a little bit skewed. For what it's worth, historically, before Ottoman times, the lands Turkey Leiden used to be very Christian.
Like literally half of all the cities in the New Testament of the Bible that the Apostle Paul visited refer to current renamed cities of Turkey, like Ephesus, Tarsus, Lycia. Even the ecumenical patriarch of the Eastern Orthodox Church is located in Istanbul.
It's interesting though, because despite the Islamic undertones, Turkey and often their Turkic cousins can be very superstitious and fall into practices like fortune telling and astrology.
It's
even.
huge out here.
Yeah.
So like technically it's considered haram, but like you guys still do it.
Yeah. And that's the thing you'll notice in Turkey, there's always kind of like a dichotomy or fusion between the Islamic side and the Turkic side of people's identity.
And that's the other thing too, like a lot of times people kind of conflate you guys with Arabs because Islam usually is hiding with Arabism.
Who would do that?
Yeah, we're like the least Arabized Muslim majority country.
But like people don't seem to understand that.
Yeah. And one thing they've upheld for thousands of years
Never
are
heard of that.
recreational activities. With that, here's art with the sports part.
I had to write something.
All right, guys, Turkey and sports. But first, guess what? Tarçın's name is actually Turkish, and it means cinnamon. That's all we need you for, buddy. So, you didn't die, don't worry. First off, they have lots of native sports. Every year on the West Coast, they have the
Seljuk
Seljuk
Camel Wrestling
Festival, in which male camels would naturally fight each other for mates. So they decided to make it a sport. That's what they fight for, mating. They're heavily monitored by referees and are muzzled so they don't bite each other. Another sport, Jirit, a horseback javelin throwing sport. So here's a clip from the movie Beyaz Melik showing how it's done in a safe and cinematically choreographed manner. And finally, you've probably heard of this one, Turkish oil wrestling. This is most famous in the Thrace region, done on a grass field wearing heavy water buffalo pants. You have to either expose your opponent's belly upwards, make them fall to the side, or carry them for a few steps. They're covered in olive oil to make grappling difficult. Meaning wrestlers of different weights can wrestle fairly using speed and technique while also repelling mosquitoes.
Why'd you say that as a question?
Because why are mosquitoes important, right?
But we're saying what the olive oil is for.
It's to repel mosquitoes.
It can be that too.
Take out the
I
mosquitoes.
had no
bro.
idea.
I'm not about to say it.
Otherwise, Turks have done pretty well in many other contemporary sports. They've gathered over 100 medals in the Olympics since debuting in 1908. Their strongest event being wrestling, with a total of 29 golds as of 2020 Tokyo Olympics.
Wow.
Turkey's women's volleyball teams have won numerous European championship titles and medals. And of course, Turks will tell you so much about their accomplishments in soccer or
Yes, Yildiz. Oh my god, yeah, he's so good.
football. These three teams are the most attention-grabbing clubs in the entire country. When there is a derby between them, the fans go crazy. People get violent.
Of course.
And police have to be present.
Oh,
to
are those all from Istanbul?
stop the fans from stabbing each other. Otherwise, they were super pumped when they reached third place in the 2002 World Cup. And this guy, Hasan Şükür, holds
Hakan
the
Şükür.
record for fastest goal in the World Cup. I mean, there's so much to discuss about Turkish
He
football.
was so
but,
good.
You know, I'm gonna let you guys hash it out in the comments. You guys can call each other little and you can verbally assault each other. All right, guys, that's all I got for you for the Turkey episode. If you guys are interested in getting some cosmetic work done, you can visit us at beautymill.travel in Turkey. Yeah.
That was the lamest, like, most tame exit you've ever had, Art.
Screw you, Paul.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you, Art. Have people died at these soccer fights?
I don't think many. Might have.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's possible.
Don't quote me on that.
And that's another thing about your culture. And to talk a little bit more about that, here's Random Hannah. And I'm not even sure if she can do this segment, but let's find out.
Hannah's busy. She's in Alabama doing Alabama stuff. Her stunt double.
No, it's just
Oh my
me,
God.
Gabriel Gab. Barb's is really pulling me into this episode, really getting all he can out of me. So, Turkish culture, what is it exactly? Turks are obsessed with hygiene. You're often going to find them with handkerchiefs or mendil. And every Turk has a bottle of colonia. It's like
Oh,
a perfume that they
yes.
pour in their hands to cool down.
I will link you at the end of this video to the video I reacted to about stuff that you find in every Turkish house. I did 2 episodes of that. Wow. The most amazing video. Many told me in the comments that it's super accurate. So yeah, should definitely check out that video.
Or if they're just generally stressed. It actually doesn't even originate in Turkey. It comes from Germany. When greeting elders, what they'll do is they'll grab the hand and they'll kind of kiss it. And then they'll put it on the forehead. And then when men greet each other, they shake hands. A boosh. A little concussion there and a little concussion there. Well, they also do the side hug thing, more my style. Boom, to the left. Boom, to the right. There are
That's really cool.
a lot of superstitions in Turkey. The most famous one that everybody knows of is Nazar.
The evil eye.
The concept, it exists in other countries, but it is huge in Turkey. It's basically the idea of getting bad luck because someone else is jealous of you. This is why you're going to see the Nazar porcelain glass amulet. It's everywhere in Turkey. Sometimes people will take it and put it on things that people will get jealous of. Or they'll even put it on people too. Anything. You know what? The rituals are just too crazy for me to explain. Here's some of the subscribers who could do a much better job than me.
So, we Turks have a lot of quirks.
Turks do this thing where they grab their earlobe, make a kiss sound, and knock the wood.
It is believed that eating of the right hand means getting unexpected money from somewhere.
Cutting your nails at night are seen as things which would attract bad luck.
Don't lend a sharp object to people. Either spit on it, or else you could be in a fight.
Don't eat in a bathroom or bed, or you will get haunted. I was scared for this.
Okay. That is good. I really hate when you get crumbles in bed. So yeah, okay. I agree with this one. Not for the same reason, but still.
When I was a kid.
You should enter the house and use household with your right foot.
Oh shit. Oh my god, I never really thought of what's the first food that I will put in. Oh my god. Okay. From now on, I will always think about it.
Taking a long trip with their car, people generally pour water behind them.
If you buy a new pair of shoes, you should let the first person who notices them step on them.
Turks have this gesture they do when they get scared. They bite their thumb and push it up.
Slippers cannot be upside down at all.
When you drop bread on the floor, you have to kiss it and put it on your forehead 3 times.
Don't have too much fun, don't laugh too much, or something bad could happen.
I especially like that one. Otherwise, Turkey has a world-renowned entertainment industry. Even people in Brazil.
But I feel like all these things are like when you watch the videos about Italians, like, oh my god, you cannot put pineapple on pizza. Oh my god, you cannot do this in Italy. No, that one is illegal in Italy. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, but not everyone will be the one doing it, right? It won't be as crazy. I don't know. Let me know in the comments.
Brazil love Turkish drama. Probably the most famous drama abroad being this.
Fatma Gul un Suçune. Oh my god, I can't pronounce it, that's sorry.
This one, which translates to, what is Fatma Gul's wrongdoing? What'd you do, Fatma Gul? I want to know. Also, Turkish movies are really popular as well. However, Turkish humor is so specific that it's almost impossible to translate the inside joke. Like the cult classic movie Gora. And it's highly regarded as the most popular movie from Turkey. Now, it's basically about a Turkish scam artist fellow who gets abducted by some extraterrestrials. Now, the whole movie is just making fun of Hollywood from the Turkish perspective. Finally, Turkey's
I need to watch that.
And celebrations. This rock festival actually got canceled this year. The district administration said it was too loud and too disturbing for the locals. But are those the real reasons? Oh, we're just never gonna know. And speaking of loud and disturbing, here's our favorite Florida man, Keith!
Did you guys miss me?
Doesn't believe it.
Let's get to it. I'm Keith. We're supposed to talk about music. Well, this is an intense one because, you know, they have a lot of history. I mean, who doesn't know the Ottoman Empire and, you know, woo! You'll hear lots of elements similar to Greek, Arab, Romanian, and Armenian Turkish music. I wonder why. There are 3 main styles of folk. The Black Sea, the West Coast, and the South Coast all have their own different styles of folk music. On the Black Sea coast, the kemençe is played, and when they dance, there's a lot of shoulder shaking, gesture like this. In the West Coast,
I like it.
The Zeybek dance, Jumbosh. I'm sorry if I just absolutely butchered that. It's like a banjo without frets. And I don't know if it's tuned in fifths or not. I potentially tuned in fifths. In the South, you hear more arabesque music. It's slower and more depressing, like super depressing. People literally will commit self-harm at some of these concerts that are performed by this dude.
Yeah, definitely if you have any suggestion for Turkish music, yeah, down below.
In fact, the 80s was kind of like the super popular depressing era of music in Turkey. It was kind of like their goth phase. You have all these really great artists that will be listed over here. Turkey has a lot of traditional bards, like these guys. Now let's get into some of the modern stuff that goes on in Turkey now. Anatolia rock, this is probably one of the most famous contemporary genres to have come out of Turkey. It's like a fusion of like Western rock, psychedelic, and like saz instruments oftentimes are mixed with traditional Turkish songs. There's so much we could have mentioned, like Turkish pop, and there's a lot of Turkish rap and so forth. But if you have something to add, please add it in the comments comment section down below. I'd love to respond to you guys. Thank you so much to everybody that subscribed to my YouTube channel, The Keith Everett Show. It's been really great. Y'all have a good one.
So, by the way, if you want to hear metalcore/emo music in Turkish language, yeah, check out my musical project called As My Life Falls Apart. It's on all platforms. You can find the music everywhere.
It actually sounds kind of good. I'm surprised. You do like all the tracks and the...
By the way, his English is perfect. What the hell? How is he speaking so good English? There's no accent whatsoever. It's just wow. I mean, I speak English for, I don't know, maybe 15 years. The accent is there, but I don't know how he does it. That's crazy.
This kid's actually pretty good. Yeah, promotion for you, Ege.
Thank you, man.
You are in this episode, so why not?
Well, with that, there's only one part left to this complicated nation of Turkey. Their diplomacy. Here we go.
So as a country at the crossroads of 3 continents, Turkey is in a position where they can't really isolate, even if they tried.
There's geographically too much going on. Let's explain.
For one, Indonesia has always been a close ally dating back centuries when the Ottomans supported the people of Aceh against the Portuguese. Since the Cold War, the USA has always been involved in Turkey's diplomatic affairs, especially in concern to Soviet expansion. They joined NATO in 1952, recognized Israel in 1948. Many Turkish Jews voluntarily moved to Israel as well during Zionist movement times, and Turkey even sent troops.
When was this uploaded, actually? 3 years ago. I don't know. I think it has changed right now, right? After the whole thing of Israel and Palestine, I remember that many Israeli football players were laid off, and there was many protests during football games. So I think this is not the case anymore, but you can update me in the comment section.
To fight alongside the Korean War. In fact, Turkey has had close ties to South Korea dating over 2,000 years when the Guk Turks teamed up and assisted the Korean Goguryeo Kingdom against the Tang Dynasty Chinese forces in conflict times. Since then, they've maintained a historical alliance based on economic, cultural, and military traits all the way up to the Korean War. Today, about 460 fallen Turkish soldiers are buried in honor at the Hero Cemetery in Busan. Bosniaks from Bosnia and Herzegovina are also huge fans. They are kind of like the descendants of European Muslims that converted during Ottoman times. Many have even moved to Turkey as well and started businesses and have communities. Then we get to their...
Wait, but Albanians are not Muslims, right? I don't know.
Central Asian cousins. Turks have a platonic love
so.
for their Central Asian cousins like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and Kyrgyzstan, and so on. They'll always take up the opportunity to follow up and chat. Turkmenistan is a little bit of a different story due to their government's isolationist policies, but as people, the Turkmens and Turks are probably the closest in Central Asia because of the Oghuz tribe affiliation. Germany is their largest import and export partner, and they have the largest Turkish diaspora outside of Turkey, so there has always been a connection between them. Turks tend to have strong opinions about the Turkish diaspora in Germany, but that's a whole other story that we do not want to get into right now. In regards to Cyprus, obviously we already explained in the Cyprus episode, the northern Turkish populated part is a self-proclaimed independent nation that only Turkey recognizes, so of course there is a close connection there. Turks tend to call northern Cyprus Yavru Vatan, which means little homeland, but keep in mind Cypriot Turks don't actually really like this phrase. When it comes to their best friends, however, every Turk I've talked to has said one country, Azerbaijan. They have a phrase, one nation, 2 states. If the Central Asian Turkic nations are cousins, then the Turks and Azerbaijanis are siblings. They have mutually intelligible dialects, they intermarry a lot, each is super welcome in each other's country. Overall, they are one blood, always have been, always will be.
Alright, and in conclusion, Ege, you are the Turk, you get the honor, speak from the heart. Go!
Yeah, I do remember when I reacted to the video about the Turkic languages that the Azerbaijani language was the most similar to Turkish. That's really interesting.
It's so complicated. It has a history going back millennia. Just like the land, it has blended people from the Aegean, Mediterranean, Mesopotamian, Europe, and Middle East, ancient Turkics. It's secular, but also has a Muslim undertone. The politics are always insane. There's never a quiet moment, and no matter how many crowbars you get in the face from road rage, we always dish it out over a tulip glass of tea.
I think that summarizes it great, Ege. Thank you so much for being in the Turkey episode. And stay tuned, Turkmenistan is coming up next.
Should I check out the Turkmenistan episode? Oh my god. You know, actually, lately there has been so many Italian vloggers traveling to Turkmenistan. I don't know why, but Oh, it's so interesting. So maybe I should definitely check out the Turkmen episode for sure. So I really hope you've enjoyed this Türkiye, I hope I'm saying it right, episode. Oh my god, that makes me just want to travel to Turkey even more. Oh my god, someday. So yeah, just leave me a comment down below telling me which other videos should I check out next to learn more about your country. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next episode.